Welcome to the show, folks, and enjoy the music for the pre-stream.
These are the days of thunder. We're gonna make time stand still. A quarter after midnight, and I'm watching the wall. Sometimes I feel so uptight, I just can't sleep at all. Every day doing the same old thing, we're losing time. The weekend comes, we gotta have some fun and rewind. These are the days of thunder. We're gonna make time stand still. We gotta feel the hunger, hanging over the edge just to taste the thrill. I feel the rope tightening, choking off our air. We need to grab some lightning. Friday's almost here. Caught in a web, we need to cut this thread we're hanging by. Where is it said you have to be half dead to survive? These are the days of thunder. We're gonna make time stand still. We gotta feel the hunger, hanging over the edge just to taste the thrill. These are the days of thunder. We're gonna make time stand still. We gotta feel the hunger, hanging over the edge just to taste the thrill. These are the days of thunder. We're gonna make time stand still. We gotta feel the hunger, hanging over the edge just to taste the thrill. These are the days of thunder.
All right, B, it must be time.
Absolutely.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for WordPress Plugins A to Z, not Z.
It's episode 666, and we have plugins for podcast playing, jump cloud sign-in, with some WordPress news, all coming up on WordPress Plugins from A to Z. WordPress, the king of content management systems, powering the web with over 80,000 plugins to choose from. How do you sort the junk from the gems? Welcome to WP Plugins A-Z, where we've been keeping the pulse of WordPress alive for over 16 incredible years. Join us every week for an unrehearsed, real talk breakdowns of the latest and greatest plugins, developer and community member interviews. Some weeks, Amber and I team up to dig in. Others, I'm flying solo, unpacking WordPress news, demoing a standout plugin, or sharing tips to power up your site. No scripts, no fluff, just the good stuff from A to Z. So plug in and let's get rolling. Well, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you happen to be hiding out there on the globe today. Coming to you direct from the brewery overlooking beautiful southern Vancouver Island. I'm John Overall, and with me is the ever lovely
Amber Lynn.
And we're here for another great show for you today. Of course, it's episode 666, and we'll never have this number again. I can't believe we've actually made it this bloody far. That's a lot of bloody shows. At any rate, everything is looking pretty good. We've got lots of great stuff for you. And, well, I really don't have all that much. I'm still recovering from my knockdown, drag-out fight with the germs from outer space. But let's get on with that. And well,
Thank you for sharing, John. Now get down from that soapbox.
We need a little da-dum-tsh after that now.
I'll hunt that down and see if I can add it into the sound effects.
Welcome to episode 666. WordPress Wonders Await. Dive into plugin magic with A to Z. So we've got a couple great in-depth plugins to cover for you. We have Podcast Player, your podcasting companion, which is bringing you a podcast player for your site designed to make the process of playing and showcasing your podcast simple, straightforward, and easy to use. And we also have SSO, Jump Cloud Enterprise, SAML, and SCIM. This plugin brings you the ability to log into your WordPress with Jump Cloud and brings other Jump Cloud users the option to create a new account on your site through their own Jump Cloud login. If that was confusing at all, don't worry, I'll explain it better later. Okay. And of course, we also got some recent news in both the WordPress world and the tech world in general with an additional bit of WordPress tips. Hoping everyone out there is keeping warm and dry despite the crazy weather we've all been having. I see that Ryan said it's absolutely gorgeous where he is. No. I don't know how it is. I don't know how is it where you are?
It's cold and foggy or cloudy.
Yeah, it's like hailing and raining and cloudy over here. So
well, back to the wet coast weather to carry us through the rest of winter.
A couple of reminders before we start the show today. You can join us here in person every Monday at 12 p.m. Pacific time to enjoy our show. Show notes are added to the WP Plugins AtoZ.com site within 24 hours of the show airing. You can find them either on the homepage or in the podcast vaults. And this is a value for value show, so help us get some love by hitting some like button, sharing an episode or two, or just turn on the show really loudly and catch other people's attention. That always works, I swear.
Yeah, that it does.
You know what? I have to say it actually does, because I have watched some ridiculous cartoons and other shows because I overheard a little bit from what the kids were watching. So it does actually work. You should try it.
Okay. We'll give it a shot.
Our artist today is Grok.
Yep. Grok created our artwork, and he
Trekkie.
Yep. Well, that was the whole theme I gave him for building it out. So yeah, Grok's he's coming. He's doing all right with art. You can't just tell him what you need. What you do is you got to tell him to create a prompt that you're going to go use on another AI such as DALL-E, which is specialized in creating art, and then he'll create this magnificent prompt, and then you take that and feed that back into him, and then he creates the art you want.
Yep.
So
we can never have too much art. So if anybody out there would like to send in their own art, yes, that would be fantastic. We'll put your art up here. Tell everyone who it's by. It would be awesome to have some real art again.
Yes, it would be. It'd be awesome to have some, real art or even just some AI art, and you can go contribute it directly on the website. There's a link in the show notes. Donate your artwork. That's part of the 3 T's for us. Time, talent, and treasure. We'll get more into that later.
Now for the news.
Now for the news. Where does it go? It's here somewhere. There it is.
Please, can everybody be quiet? Please be quiet. Shut up! And now the news with Amber.
All right. So as always, the first one I have for you today is the WordPress vulnerability report from solidwp.com. In this report, there are 467 vulnerabilities. It's a lot of them, eh?
Yeah.
448 are plugins this week with 19 themes. So far, we have 372 plugins that have been patched. There are 76 left to go. And for the themes, 14 have been patched with 5 left to go. So definitely something you'll want to give a scroll through, see what's going on with the various plugins. And if you need to, do some updates.
Yep. Go check your updates.
Next, we have WordPress vulnerability report from PatchStack. These guys are live, so as things are found, it's thrown up here. The most recent one looks like it was about an hour ago. They're very useful for when you need information more immediately. Go check these guys out as your first stop when you're working and on the go. Next up, I have critical WordPress backup plugin flaw leaves 800,000 sites exposed to remote code execution. The plugin was WP Vivid Backup and Migration plugin.
Never heard of it.
Me either, but I guess it's something that is pretty well known. It's also known as migration, backup, and staging.
Yeah,
And
800,000 users. I'd say it's pretty popular.
yeah, so for those who do use it, go update it right now because they have fixed it. If you have anything less than 0.9.123, you need to update immediately.
Get on it.
Next, I have Critical Clean Talk plugin. They have a flaw allowing authorization bypass on WordPress via reverse DNS. So Clean Talk spam protection plugin for WordPress has an issue with its check without token function. This routine verifies requests by relying on reverse DNS or PTR records instead of secure methods like cryptographic tokens. And this is causing critical vulnerability where it allows attackers to bypass authorization and seize control of sites. So if you have anything less than a version 6.72, update it because they have fixed it.
Cool.
And next we have WordPress AI Experiments plugin tests 8 new features, including type ahead and comment moderation. So I know there was a bit of kerfuffle last week about whether or not this should be allowed. And now I guess they're going ahead with it. And it looks like it's a plugin. So you can put it into your site and then you can like test out all the various things. And once you've tested them all out, they want feedback. They want you to go test it out, tell them what works, what doesn't work, what you think could do better. They want to make this a thing. They want to integrate this into 7.0. So
they're going to. I don't know how useful it'll be.
Well, I'm thinking Clippy useful.
Clippy, yeah, it could be very well Clippy useful. And, you know, as far as what are the full experiments in here besides the comment moderation? Type ahead. I mean, it's gonna predict. Is it gonna be like typing on your iPhone
on
messaging?
Your phone? Yeah.
You know, where it predicts your words and, you know, it never gets it right. Although it's really entertaining sometimes to just choose a word and then send a text by selecting whatever word pops up.
Yep.
It sends out some very entertaining text to people. They think you've got off your rocker and they're ready to commit you to the local nut house.
So yeah, do have a look through this. See if you're interested at all, because it's something worth adding your input into if you have the time, energy, and desire.
Yeah.
Next up.
I say, yeah, it could have some uses, but I don't know. They're trying to me, it seems with AI, they're trying to cram it in places that it's not overly useful. It's just because it looks cool.
It could be that. I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to throw it in there while it's still in like the baby Clippy phase. That way it can grow with the site rather than trying to throw in a fully automated AI. Yeah, I think that's kind of the idea here.
They should keep it as a plugin then instead of cram it into core.
That I agree with, because the more that this AI grows and develops, the more it's going to take from everything. It's going to cause things to slow down. It's going to cause issues as it grows and learns and tries to fix things.
Yes.
I think that they should keep it as a plugin. Maybe if enough of us say that, it'll happen.
No.
Maybe.
We tried enough of us saying to keep Gutenberg as a plugin. That didn't work either.
Ah, true.
So no. If they decide they're going to cram it into core, it's going into core.
I do know that there's going to be a way to kind of shut it down, though. So.
Well, yeah, there's ways you can shut down Gutenberg. So
exactly. And if a way isn't offered and provided, someone will figure it out. There's a lot of smart people in this community.
That's the joy of WordPress, is if they don't provide a way, somebody out there will write a way to shut it down. And then share it with the public at large. So yeah, that's the joy of WordPress, is that if they do something really stupid, somebody will come along and counteract it.
Exactly. Okay, so next thing I have here is WordPress 6.9.1 has been released with fixes for 49 bugs in the core and block editors. So we have talked numerous times throughout these shows about how don't do the update yet. Wait till like 0.2 or 0.3 version. But I mean, for this, I have been testing it out on various of my sites and on a couple of dev sites, and it seems to be working just fine.
Oh.
What do you think?
I've been using 6.9 for a while on all my sites, so it was no big deal. 6.9.1 is just the point release update to fix whatever bugs were in 6.9. So
Okay, so
it's safe, it's stable. I've used it. I've got it on all my main production sites and client production sites, so it's good. It's good to go, and it seems to be pretty solid.
So if you haven't already, feel free to update. Just do it on a dev site first if you can.
Yeah, always test it on a dev site if you've got one. If you don't, make sure you've done your backup so you can restore if you have to. That is the one joy of WordPress, is it's easy to restore backwards.
Next up, I have WordPress agent skills move to official repo as AI team publishes first usage guidelines. So for anyone who missed it, the WordPress AI team has a new home for its agent skills project, and it's on the GitHub repository. And I just think that's awesome because GitHub is such a fantastic place. You can find anything there. It's so useful. I love it.
Yep, lots of great stuff there.
Yeah, and the fact that a lot of these different teams for WordPress are developing on GitHub, I think is really fantastic.
Yep. Well, it's helpful. And if you understand the code, you can go in there and see what they're doing.
And the last thing I have here is the annular Ring of Fire solar eclipse on February 17th, 2026. So
That's
if
not
you
the link I have. I have the link to Matt Mullenweg's global sponsors product should be fair game for WordTap Talks. We don't have the link for the solar eclipse that's happening in the center of the ocean.
It's not really the center of the ocean, but
it's close enough.
You have to be up in Antarctica or southern Africa or southern of the Americas to see it.
Up in Antarctica. That's a pretty good trick.
Sorry, down in Antarctica. Hey man, you said words are hard. I'm totally just proving your point.
Yes, you are. Yeah. Words are difficult these days.
They are. See if I can find it.
Yeah.
Maybe. But yeah, it is really cool. The Ring of Fire is the moon goes in front of the sun, but there's like a ring around it, which is really cool.
We had one here in North America a few years ago.
Yeah? Mm-hmm. Oh man, I totally missed it.
Yeah.
Well, even if you don't get to see it, I'm pretty sure that we're going to be able to see a bunch of pictures.
Oh, don't worry, the internet will bring it to us.
Oh yeah.
The internet is really good for bringing dozens and dozens and dozens of photos and flooding your timeline. So it's all good.
Okay, there we go.
There we go. There's the link.
I fixed it.
There we go. There's the link. All right, folks. There you go. Ring of Fire solar eclipse in February 17th. That's tomorrow.
Yep. Had to get it out there today for sure.
Okay.
I like all the spacey things that are happening. Like this year alone, we're having so many cool things going on with the moon. It's fantastic.
I don't know. The last 2 decades has been
amazing.
One month after another of unique things happening in our solar system, our planets, the solar eclipses. I mean, we had the giant X painted across North America from 2 solar eclipses.
Right?
You know,
it's amazing.
We've got all kinds of interesting things that have been happening. It just keeps happening. I'm almost, I don't remember that many being like that when I was young. So it could just be that perfect timing for everything. All right. Well, I guess it's time for us to wander on through. You got a whole bunch of extra stuff here.
Oh yeah, there's so much extra here. Like there's a couple of updates on the automatic Mullenweg thing that's going on in the courts and everything. Then there's some more information on various Microsoft issues that are popping up here and there, and some fixes and all kinds of information here.
Yep. All right. Well, with all of that, I think we'll wander off into Rogue's Corner. Okay. Whiny little dog. All right. I don't have a whole heck of a lot. I just got one real thing this week in the corner here. as I said, I've been working on promoting a premium plugin every week, or a semi-premium plugin. This week here, we're talking about changelog WP. This one comes from Ryan over at Influence WP. It is a fantastic way to manage and update your change logs. I keep promising to get mine set up, but I've got so many other things happening. This just keeps getting pushed to the bottom. What it does, it allows you to set up your change log with some really great features, icons, helps give transparent documentation to your users, helps aid in troubleshooting. Try to make your change log as complete as possible. I do that with my change logs as I write the change logs for my plugins. But there's other ways to use it. So go check it out, changelog WP. It could be of a big benefit to you, your company, your business. And it's not just for plugins. As Ryan has said, it's great for other businesses such as hosting providers who are making changes to their servers so that people know what's happening. There's all sorts of other ways I think you can use a changelog. So go check out changelog WP. What else do I got? Nope.
So changelog WP is more for people who are developing plugins?
Well, changelog is something that you use when you're developing plugins. It is one of those things that you use to talk about what's happened or what's been updated. Every time a plugin update is made, you create a changelog for what you updated. And that's what changelog WP is all about. And so at any rate, changelog WP is a better way of it because it's a centralized place where people can subscribe to your changelog instead of waiting for an update or going and searching for a changelog. And it is an irritant when you're dealing with changelogs. And that's one of the things that I've always been irritated with. If I see an update for a plugin, 8 out of 10 times, if I don't know why the plugin's updated, I want to go look at their changelog to see what they've changed, what they're updating. Is it a significant change? Is it a minor thing? Is it something to worry about, et cetera, et cetera?
So you don't have to go individually. This is like a centralized thing. That's actually really cool.
Yeah. So it's got a lot of really great uses. And I keep promising myself I'm going to deal with getting my change logs there, or at least one change log there, and move it forward. But my life is busy. At any rate, the other things I've got here, of course, is as I've been talking about, we're trying to give voice to the smaller voices out there in the WordPress community and expand out for them. I've got a small list of guys you want to follow on X that are part of the WordPress community, and they have small accounts. This one's really a small account, the WP Block Editor Book. Go check them out. They've got 46 followers, and they're talking about mastering the complete WP block ecosystem, which if you want to learn it, you may as well learn it. And this could be of help to you. So go check them out. Give them a like and a follow. Another one here is Andak Guven. His account's not that small, but it's small enough. He's an AI marketing, SEO expert, WordPress developer. Go check him out. He's put some pretty decent content out there about various topics, and he caught my attention because of some WordPress posts. So go check it all out. All of these have caught my attention because of some WordPress posts they've done. This one here is Niall Flores. And she's got some really great content. She puts out lots of really great articles talking about the different things for your website, for blog posting, for WordPress management. And there's just a lot of really great content. I've read several of her articles, and they're really good. So go check her out. And her account, 34,000 followers, so she's doing all right. All right, and the other one here is Martin Valchev. He's a video gallery WooCommerce, building SAS software, founder of Nitramix, 424 followers. Go give him some love here. He could really use it. And he's got a really great product out to go check out. So that would be all I have in this area here.
Just a quick little thing. Ryan, I think, said it's also for you to track them as WP users for the plugin you were mentioning.
Oh, the changelog WP? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting. Sooner or later.
I just want...
Go ahead.
I just wanted to say that's all, but sooner or later, what?
Sooner or later, I'm going to get to it.
Sooner or later, okay. So what you're really saying is that you need someone to keep poking you in the brain meats and reminding you.
Well, what I need is I need my work to catch up and be cleared out again and be balanced like it was before I got sick. It was all in perfect order and everything was moving along nice and smoothly. And then I got sick for 2 weeks, and of course, that threw all the schedules into chaos. And you can never catch up. All you can do is move forward from where you lost track, and it takes you a while to get back into full swing of things. And it takes you a while to sort of catch up. You just get into a new swing. Is basically what it is.
Find a new routine. It's a great way to shake things up.
Yep. All right, and just a couple of other quick things here. We've got a couple of shows you might want to go check out. WP Mayor, and they've got some really great content here. WordPress reviews, tutorials over there, and then WP Minute, which also has some really great content to check out. And that would be the end of all of that. So I think it's time for us to dive into plugins. All right, plugins for you. First plugin I've got for you here is called Podcast Player. Now, I know a lot of people out there, if they're doing podcasts from their WordPress website, they're using something like PowerPress, Blueberry's PowerPress, or some other podcast player. Well, I was working on a website. I was rebuilding a client's website who had a podcast that was really well established, and he's been using Blueberry. Well, we're not going to change that out because that can mess with your RSS feed. What we needed a nice, pretty way to individually display his most recent podcast on various pages on the site. So I went hunting around and I found this one here, Podcast Player. You can use this and feature any podcast on your website, not just yours. Any podcast, all you got to do is go get their RSS feed for their podcast. You go build out the RSS feed information. It gives you a short code. You go drop that short code on a page, and instantly, boom, it's got a beautiful player. Let's see here. Yeah, you fill out all the pieces on it, put the short code on a page, and there it is. It produces a beautiful player for you, which you can customize to a certain extent. If you really want to get into high customization, you can custom CSS it to tweak it all out. You can have it showcase further episodes or hide those. You can put links, have it showcase the links to all the places people can subscribe, etc., etc. It's just a really great tool to be able to expand a website out that you might be rebuilding, and you might want to put the podcast player elsewhere. For instance, well, the biggest problem with Blueberry PowerPress, when it first came out, they used to give you 3 different very nice podcast players to use. And of course, a couple of them were old, I can't remember, before the HTML5 players. They got rid of them. And then they brought it all the way down to one ugliest sin, HTML5 player, but they do have a really fancy player that's kind of cool, except you got to subscribe to their service, which is ridiculously priced in my opinion. And it doesn't do anything but give you a fancy podcast player. So there's lots of ways to get a fancy podcast player, and this is one of them. So go check this out. It's a really fantastic plugin. It is Podcast Player, your podcasting companion, and I give it a 5 dragon rating. Whoops, wrong button. There we go. That's much better. Now, I do have a secondary plugin. And of course, this one here is because I wrote it, which is why, well, me and the AI wrote it together. It's called WP Pro AtoZ Limit Updates. It doesn't have all that great of a README text file. You can get it over at my GitHub. I'm still working on the documentation for it. It's out of beta. It's in production now at version 1.5. It's cleaned up. It's fully functioning. And what it does for you, if you are managing a WordPress website where you do the updates and checks on things, etc. And it's a website where there's multiple admins in there. And no matter how many times you tell the other admins, don't touch the plugins, do not do updates. When you do that, things break. I have no idea what happened. And you freak out, and I say, well, look, you updated. And then you go ahead and lie and say, no, I didn't update it. And I know, here's the log. your login did it. Well, it wasn't me. I was sharing my login. Well, see, that's another problem. Don't even share your login. So at any rate, what I wrote here was a plugin that once installed and activated, you get to choose which administrators have access to the plugin updates, to the theme updates, and the update dashboard, the core update dashboard. It hides all three of them except to admins that you allow. Very useful, very straight out of the box plugin. Install it, activate it, go to the settings screen, choose your admins with a drop down, and you're all set. Go check it out. It's over on my GitHub. It's WP Pro A-Z, limit admins who can update plugins, themes, and core. And of course, since I wrote it, it gets a 5 dragon rating. There you go.
I really do love that plugin. It's so fun. It's so awesome.
It came out of frustration with a client who kept doing this to me. And it's like,
Oh, I know.
it's like, you know, you can't. You've done this to me 3 times, and I'm tired of fixing it. Now, granted, I bill them for the fixes, but that takes time out of my day.
Also, it's an easily avoidable issue.
That's the other part. It's easily avoidable. All they have to do is not do updates. They just can't help themselves. They see the real red circle and say, I gotta click the button.
It's the red. If it was yellow, they could ignore it, but it's red.
Yeah, that could very well be it. All right. Well, with that being done, let's wonder.
So on to our WordPress tips. We would love to hear some tidbit tips from some of you out there. What have you figured out by breaking something, or what did you need to learn in order to help someone else who broke something? These kind of tips are really useful and really awesome. If you want to share them with the world, send them in to me at amber@wppro.ca, and we'll put your information in here. My tip to you today is don't feel guilty about using tools that help you finish your work faster. So to throw a little context in here, my younger daughter used to feel guilty when she was a bit younger about working on the computer. Writing by hand doesn't come easily to everybody, and she was given permission to type things out. Well, she didn't for a while and continued writing by hand because she felt guilty about using a tool that would save her time and effort. And I have also found that I sometimes feel guilty about using a tool, such as when I first started using the AI to take all my chaotic thoughts and organize them into a template I had created. I actually felt guilty about that because that was like 2 hours that I didn't have to work now. And this is not an uncommon issue. People do feel guilty when they first start receiving a tool that helps to save them time. However, so long as you're using the tool as it is intended to be used, you should not feel guilty about using that tool. The entire reason that we create new and shiny tools as a human race is to make our jobs easier and quicker. I mean, could you imagine if the farmers felt guilty about using the machinery that they use to sow and harvest their crops? It doesn't make sense to feel guilty about using any other tools. I think virtual tools are still kind of new to us, so maybe the guilt is a little more there, but it's something that I think everybody should stop and really think about. Don't let yourself feel guilty. Now, on the other hand, if you're for just relying on the tool to such an extent that you forget how to do your job entirely, absolutely feel guilty. Need a rolled up newspaper to pop you on the nose. Bad. Don't do that. But most people aren't going to do that. Most people get the tool, use it as they need to use it, and then they feel guilty because now they have 2 hours less work. And that's no good. Don't do that. Just use the damn tool.
Absolutely. All right. Well, let's wonder.
And for my plugin, I have SSO Jump Cloud, Enterprise, SAML, and SCIM. It's a mouthful.
Yeah.
So this plugin was sent in to us by the creator, Ayrton Vanson Jr. Hopefully I didn't kill your name too badly. And it is actually a pretty awesome plugin. It's a freemium. So the free version of this is a pretty fantastic starter that gives you what you absolutely need to get going. All the better and easier tools being behind the paywall, and honestly, it's how it should be. You should have everything you need, the basics, for free, and then all the things that make your life way easier, way better, those are the ones that should be behind the paywall. So once I downloaded and activated this, I was able to find the dashboard for the plugin under Settings and SSO Jump Cloud. Here you have 3 areas: General, Premium Features, and SCIM Provisioning. I thought that was kind of neat how they create an entire tab of the dashboard just for the premium features. You can see what they are, but you just can't access them. I kind of like that. Gives you an idea of what you're actually paying for. And the general area, it's all the stuff that you need to really set things up between your WordPress site and your Jump Cloud place. It's like your IDP entity, SSO URL, SLO URL, certificate, and you even have an option to disable the default login, which means that everybody would have to use the Jump Cloud login in order to get into the site. And on the right-hand side, there is a sidebar with all of your site information that you need to configure your Jump Cloud. So it has your site's SP ID, ACS URL, SLS URL, and SCIM base URL, which for those who use Jump Cloud, you will probably have a better idea of what all these are and what you need them for. For myself, I'm not overly familiar with Jump Cloud. I know it's like a cloud where you store things, I think. But it's not something I'm overly familiar with. I was able to test this out and figure out all the basics, and I was able to learn that this plays really well with other plugins, and it works nicely on all of the on my site that is special. Didn't break anything. And it works like crazy easy on a fresh website. Like, it's super fast, super lightweight, surprising for considering all things it does. In the free version, you do get the option to have the login with Jump Cloud for all of your users, and for a user who hasn't been on your website before, they have the option to log in with Jump Cloud, and then Jump Cloud will automatically create an account on the WordPress site for you, so you don't have to worry about it. When you go over to the premium, you get a whole bunch more things. Like, you get role mapping, you get allowed user groups, all the different roles and what those roles have in them. You get log retention, recent activity, and SCIM provisioning tab. So it'll allow Jump Cloud to in live time update, deactivate any of the users' accounts. So you don't really have to worry about, oh, this person deleted their Jump Cloud account. Now you have to go in and manually delete their account on your website that was made through Jump Cloud. You don't have to worry about any of that because Jump Cloud will do it for you. It's really cool, makes life a lot easier. And from what I can tell, this plugin does work well, should work well. I should say, I didn't test it myself, but it should work well with WordPress multi-user plugins such as Ultimate Member, BuddyPress, MemberPress, or Paid Memberships Pro, for example. It seems to work just fine with WooCommerce and with builders like Elementor. I could not find anything saying that this would work poorly with them, just in case anybody is worried about that. So if you are a Jump Cloud user, I highly recommend testing out the free version of this. It is a very well-made plugin. Because it is a premium, I rate it at 4 dragons.
Very cool. Sounds like a very useful plugin. All right. Well,
do we have a sound? Do we have a sound for the miscellaneous announcements?
Oh, maybe. We've been playing with sounds, but
we have. I don't think we've actually settled on anything.
No.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. Wow. Wow.
We'll go with that.
Okay,
yeah,
that's the sound for today.
I've been poking around at different sounds. Sooner or later, I'll get them organized. One of these days, I'll actually label them so that I'll have them.
That would be useful.
It would be, but I've gotten used to the way I've got the soundboard set up, and well, it's been this way for a couple of years. And if I change something, I can't find the buttons anymore.
I have to admit, it is really entertaining when you do that to yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So for the miscellaneous announcements, if anybody out there has an announcement like a meetup or you want to announce that you're going to be on stage at a WordCamp, let us know. We'll put that information here for you and read out to the world. For the time being, though, the next 5 WordCamps that are coming up is the WordPress Campus Connect Jinja in Eastern Region, Uganda. And then from October 1st to February 28th, so I guess that's already been going on for a while. WordPress Campus Connect Ribera del Duarte. You know what? You should just come here and check it out yourself. There's
Absolutely.
It's happening all over the world.
Absolutely. You don't want to be trying to untangle those.
Nope.
Names.
White flag. I bow out.
All right. With all of that, let's go wander into our, what am I missing here? We don't have
the affiliates.
Yeah, we don't have a jingle for the affiliates, do we?
I thought we decided on one. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. That's the one. Maybe I should label it affiliates. All right.
At least one of them.
All right, affiliates, we do have 4 affiliate companies that we are affiliated with. And if you click the links in our show notes and sign up for them, we make a small commission. It's nothing significant, doesn't change your price. It helps support them because we believe that these are the products that should be used. And it gives us a little bit of pocket money, maybe a beer or 2 once every 6 months. But hey, it's something. At any rate, we just want to let folks know about them. The first one here is Termageddon. And Termageddon is a plugin that
It's awesome. That's what it is.
Yeah, Termageddon is something that you really, really want to have. And let me get my brain. I've got a...
Get a foghorn on? Just hold it.
Yeah, well, because I'm always logged into it, if I click that link in our show notes, it takes me to the...
I see.
It takes me to my admin area, which, we don't want to do that. So
Not quite.
So anyway, here we go. Termageddon. Use the link in our show notes. Get yourself a discount on it. And what it does is it helps you manage all of your privacy policies, your disclaimer policies, all the policies you need to abide by the 500,000 laws and counting. Maybe I'm exaggerating, but not by much.
It covers your butt. That's what it does.
It helps cover your butt on all the various privacy laws out there to help keep the shyster lawyers from coming after you and saying that you didn't try to do this. And when you did, it helps you out. And the nice thing about it is it's automatically updating. As the laws change, they send out notification to you. Hey, these laws are changing. Here's some new questions. Do they apply to you? Go answer the questions. Yes, no, answer all the questions. And if they apply, it automatically updates your privacy policies and your other policies. Just nice and smooth and simple. It costs $120 a year for the licensing fee for it, and helps keep you in really good shape. So go check out Termageddon. They're a great plugin, or a great, well, not even, they're sort of a plugin. They're a great system. A service as a software system. There you go. Let me get that right. All right.
So just a quick thing. Welcome to the show, Manan. I'm sorry, I can't say it.
Mañana namas.
Okay, welcome to the show. I'm glad that you like Termageddon as well, and you had an interview with Ryan at Influence. That's awesome.
Excellent. Good to hear. I've interviewed him a couple of times, and I interviewed the co-creator of Termageddon.
Definitely awesome. I'm glad to hear it. So the next one we have here is Rank Math. Rank Math is definitely my favorite plugin for SEO. The free version delivers everything you need to get serious about boosting your rankings and begin getting noticed. And the premium feels like a VIP treatment with advanced tools. It makes everything just way easier to get through. They use plain English in their documents, so you don't actually need to have that tech degree just to understand it. And the support is amazing for both free and pro. And the premium, it often costs about a third of the price of what you pay for Yoast or all-in-one SEO. And this is all given to you without having to have any add-ons. So you get it all in one, and it doesn't slow down your site. It's really awesome. Definitely recommend you check these guys out, and you can click on our link here in the show notes.
Absolutely. And go check it out. And it is really, the business one is really nice. Adds some really bonus features too, if you do just decide to upgrade.
It's pretty amazing.
Okay. The next one here is bunny.net, CDN network to deliver your content from across the globe, decent speeds, low cost for managing your content, and it works wonders for dealing with your content. The other great features on it, you can lock down folders to your specific website. So if you've got unique videos you don't want distributed via YouTube or anywhere, you can lock it down so people can only view those videos on your website, nowhere else. They can't hot link to them. If they try, they get a 404 error. And the cost of it, very, very affordable. We've gone through gigabytes of bandwidth in the last year, and it's cost us like $20. So go check them out, bunny.net. And then the final one we've got for you is Glow WP Maintenance Manager. This one here is a WordPress Manager dashboard for managing multiple WordPress websites. They do have a free tier, so you can check them out. You can set up 3 websites to see if it's all going to work for you. If it does, you can add a website for $2.99 beyond 3, or you can pop up to 20 websites for $49 and save yourself a little bit of money. Really great system. I really like Glow. The best feature I enjoy most is the creation of the reports. Once you get that report tweaked out on a per site basis, all you got to do is do all your updates, put in a little bit of content in the report, hit publish, and boom, you get a PDF you can then send off to your client, which if you are also connected with your client's Google Analytics and such, it'll send Google Analytics data in the report. So lots of really great tools come with Glow. Go check them out. All right. Now, this is where we're going to make the pitch on how to support this show. This show is a value for value show. If this show saves you any time, headaches, helps you level up your WordPress game, or showcases a plugin that you didn't know existed and suddenly saves you hours and brings in those big bucks that you've been hunting for, give us back some of that. We take time, talent, or treasure. With time, you can, one of the big time things you can, time you can do for us is get out there and plug people into the show. Share this show to other people. Tell them about WP Plugins A-Z. If you know developers, etc., that really want to showcase their products, send them to us and you can have them go book an interview. We've got interview slots that are available. Just go over to the website, click on submit, book an interview, and book an interview for the show. The other way you can help us is through talent donations. Donate your artwork. We have an artwork page here where you can upload your artwork or upload us a really cool video that you might have made. We'll try and showcase them during the show. All right. And the final one is treasure donation. We take treasure donations. Yes, cash helps. And you can donate to cash right off the website via PayPal and just choose your amount, any amount you want, from $500 to $10,000. Just go donate it to the show and, say, here, go have some beers on us. Or we'll take $5 too. What the heck. At any rate, nice and simple, time, talent, or treasure, help support the show. Get out there and plug them into the show. All right.
All right. Sorry, I had to put myself on mute there.
Oh, well, are you laughing too hard at what I was doing?
No, sneeze attack.
Oh, okay.
Terrible. I think the trees are already trying to pollinate. It's terrible. My face hates it. So the plugins that we covered today were...
I covered up the Podcast Player, your podcasting companion by Veta. It's a seamless, convenient way for viewers to listen. You can set it up for any page of your website to showcase your plugins. And I also covered up the plugin that I wrote for stopping all other admins from accessing the updates to the WordPress themes files or themes, plugins, and core. Both of those plugins I gave a 5 Dragon rating to.
And I covered SSO, Jump Cloud, Enterprise, SAML, and SCIM by Ayrton Vanson Jr. And it is easy to set up, automatic user creation, and developer friendly. I rated this at 4 dragons.
Very cool. All right.
I don't think we have a sound for how to reach us, but if anybody's interested, we do have our brick and mortar address here, and we have our internet addresses if you are so inclined.
Absolutely. All that cool information is available over on the website. So let's wander into
It's question and answer time with John and Amber.
Now, for this section, if anybody out there has any questions that you'd like to have answered, you can send them in to me and I will put them here on the show. And if you're too embarrassed to admit that you're asking this question, I'll just pretend it's from me. And that way you can get the answer to your question without ever admitting you needed the answer in the first place. So my first question for you today is, when running a podcast from your WordPress site, what are the features you want to look for in a podcast plugin? Or does it change based on your podcasting needs?
Well, the podcasting plugins are all pretty basic, the same thing. It's like the one that I reviewed today could be used to create your RSS feed to go off, because all a podcasting plugin is really needed for is to create the unique wrappers for your podcast in your RSS feed so that all the podcast indexes out there can easily pick it up, and all the podcast players that everyone listens to podcasts through can go, hey, this is a podcast. Oh, here's the URL for the podcast. Click here, download the file so they can play it. I've always liked PowerPress. I just hate their player. PowerPress has some really cool tools in it. There's a couple others I've been looking at. I'm about to set up a new podcast on a new website. And since I'm starting from scratch, I'm going to be choosing a different podcast player than PowerPress. The problem is like this show here, we've been using PowerPress for 16 plus years. Many people have been using it for 5, 10, 15 years, and it's really hard to change your podcast player because you can break your RSS feed. And if you break your RSS feed, that means whatever audience you already have out there who gets their podcast from them. I've already done this once, broke my feed once. It's not pretty. They don't get your podcast anymore. You publish it, you think it's gone out, but it hasn't gone to the indexes. And the indexes go, yeah, we got nothing updated. And pretty soon, if people don't get your show regularly, pretty soon they stop listening and then they go away. It's just the nature of human beings. If we don't have something put in front of us on a continuous basis, we forget about it and move on to the next shiny object. So there are the features that I look for is ones that allow you to, create the artwork individually per show now, because that is supported by Podcast 2.0, is to use the unique title from each post and to set up the feed nice and clean. So that's pretty much it. But most of the podcast players do that now, or podcast feed plugins.
Well, I have a question that's connected to that, actually. Can you use more than one podcast thing on your site at once? Like, can you do more than one podcasting doing your RSS feed at once?
Well,
or
no.
Is that a no-no?
You don't want to have two players. It's like I put this player on a website that was already using PowerPress to manage the RSS feed. I made sure this one didn't turn on its management for the RSS feed, because now you're sending two separate RSS feeds down the line. That would fall under a big mistake I made with this show back about 12 years ago, in that I had this show being fed from johnoverall.com for a very long time. And then I decided to create it and feed it from this website also, WP Plugins. Well, what happened was, out there in the wild, the indexes picked up my feed all by themselves. I didn't submit it. And pretty soon I had two podcast feeds for my show, and I had two sets of audiences. From John Overall, I had 600 and something subscribers. From WP Plugins, I had 700. I tried to combine them, and I lost half the audiences.
Oh.
Because I broke one of the feeds, and those people never came back. So it's one of those conundrums. You don't want to have it sending out two separate feeds, because that can end up with two separate listings, because the indexes will sometimes, or somebody might submit your feed to the index for you, because anyone can submit a podcast feed to an index.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. If you find a podcast and it's not in a feed, I've done that. I found a podcast that's not in the index, so I submitted it for them so that I could get it into my podcasting app.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So
okay. So it doesn't like freaks out or anything, but what ends up happening is it kind of cross-pollinates.
Yeah,
and it causes issues.
It causes issues, and if you decide to try and correct it later, you can lose half your audience.
Oh dear. That is a good reason not to do it.
Yeah, so choose one, stick with it, even if it's not the best in the world anymore. PowerPress is still very good. It's just no longer the best. And that's because they emphasize trying to use Blueberry system because that's where they make their money. They don't make any money off their plugin because their plugin's free. So they want to move everyone to using Blueberry for upload your podcast to Blueberry, where if you get a good hosting provider, you can host your podcast directly in your own content and not worry about if Blueberry one day sells out to some big corporate conglomerate who decides, you know what, we're no longer doing this. We're shutting it down. You got 30 days to get your data. And anyone doesn't believe that happened, just go back in the last 5 years and look how many companies have done that. And people that have been using a product for 5 or 10 years, they got all this data up there. One of them was accounting software. People have been using it for a long time, had all this data, and the company got sold or the company just went out of business, and they say, you got 30 days to get your data and we're done.
Yeah,
It happens. It's happened. It's been
does.
happening since the beginning of the internet. So if you build your data on somebody else's platform and you don't have backups of it yourself, you are at their mercy if something goes wrong or they decide that they don't want to be in business anymore. So always control your data.
So my next actual question is, what are some warning signs in a podcast plugin that you want to keep an eye out for, letting you know that this podcast plugin may not be totally legit, totally truthful about what it offers, maybe is not good? Like, what are some warning signs that people can really pay attention to?
Look for crappy documentation. Look to see what they say they're going to do and then check it out. You know, if you're just testing stuff, throw it up on a dev site and see if it works the way it's supposed to. You know, it's like any other plugin that you're trying
Okay,
to
so
test
it's
at. There's
so
no
there's nothing specific to
No.
podcast ones then.
no, there's nothing specific to it. If they promise they're going to do something such as create the RSS feed, enhance the RSS feed, you load it up, you go check your RSS feed, see if it's properly enhanced. You know, I did discover through a bunch of work is if you've got a podcast player such as PowerPress, you cannot use the podcast enhancement module in rank math,
Oh,
because rank math sticks another line, a duplicate line in there, and it breaks your RSS feed.
that is good to know.
Yeah, I discovered that the hard way because I turned it on thinking, well, I will enhance the SEO for the podcast, and all of a sudden, podcast isn't being displayed or being delivered to the index. So it's like, what? I go check. It's like the feed is broke. Why is the feed broke? Well, it's because there's a duplicate line in here, and I can't remember what the line is. It's a line of code that tells it to look for certain things. Rank Math adds a duplicate of the line that is already being added by PowerPress. And that's
Okay, so it's for people who don't have something like PowerPress already.
Yeah, and and that's the whole thing about if you have duplicate plugins that do the same things, they could both be adding lines of code, and unless you go check everything, you won't know that it's broken. So
That
So, yeah.
makes sense. I mean, anything with SEO, if there's a duplicate, the whole thing is broken.
well, it's not just SEO; it's for things like a RSS feed.
It's interesting.
So.
All right, well, I've got 2 more questions for you after the credits.
All right, for those listening to downloads, come check us out on YouTube to catch the 2 additional questions. If you've been listening to the last couple of shows, you got the bonus because I forgot to shut off the recording, so you got part of the questions afterwards. Today, I'm on top of the ball, so it's all going to work properly. So go check us out, and we're going to let our girl take us on out of here. We'll be right back in 2 minutes. For those listening on YouTube, don't go away.
Reminders for the show. All the show notes can be found at wppluginsa.z.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the newsletter for more useful information delivered directly to your inbox. WP Plugins A-Z is a show that offers honest and unbiased reviews of plugins created by you, the developers, because you support the show. Help keep the show honest and unbiased by going to wppluginsa.z.com/donate and set the donation level that fits your budget. Help us make the show better for you by subscribing and reviewing the show through your favorite podcast app. You can also watch the show live on YouTube at WP Plugins A-Z And remember to subscribe and hit the bell to get notifications of all new videos. You can also follow the show on X at WP Plugins A-Z. John can be reached directly through the website wpproatoz.com or email him at john@wppro.ca. Amber can also be contacted through the website at wpproatoz.com or email her directly, amber@wppro.ca. Thanks for joining us. Have a great day, and we'll see you next week.
All righty, now it's time to move on into the next question.
It sure is. So the next question is, a lot of people are using Google to sign into other things these days, myself included. Do you think that using a login from company A to sign up with company B is a good and safe idea, and just in general?
My personal opinion is no. I've never done it. I tried it once, and then one time it didn't work, and it made problematic for me. And I went, you know what? I'm not doing this anymore. I will just have separate logins for everything. The biggest risk you have is if you're using Google to log into everything, someone cracks your Google account, well, they can go log into everything. That's the biggest risk I see. I mean, it's convenient, and the younger generation loves it. I don't argue it. I give up arguing the points of these things. It's like, do you, I will do me, and they'll laugh at me because I have, 10,000 logins and they only have 2. So it's like, whatever. I don't trust it. I don't trust other companies to manage the data. There have been too many over the years. The breaches have been enormous everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
And then you're at the mercy of, everyone seems to forget, you are at the mercy of the dudes named Ben who manage that software and those hardware in the background, who have the God keys to everything. And that is literally a handful of people in the world.
Yeah, it's kind of freaky when you think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you don't think it's really the best idea, which I totally understand. And these, even though they put in all these checks and balances where, oh my goodness, it drives me insane.
Yeah.
Some of these checks and balances, because if you're using a company computer, you have to sign into your Microsoft account, but in order to sign in, they have to send you a text, and then you put in that thing, and then they will also send you an email if you haven't logged in for a while, and you have to do all these stupid things, and it drives me up the wall.
Oh, yeah. There's all kinds of insanity there. I just don't join in it. I'll let the other people deal with that.
Fair enough. All right. My last question is, what's the worst password-related mess you've ever had to deal with? And what advice would you give our listeners out there so that they hopefully don't have to deal with it as well?
You mean our 9-hole listeners?
Our 9-hole listeners.
Yeah, there you go. All right. I don't understand the question, because what do you mean by password-related mess? You mean...
Well, okay, so I know that there's plenty of times that anyone who runs a site has had to deal with going in, resetting the password, or they've been sharing their password with somebody, and then that other person did something, and now they have to get it back, and there's a whole debacle there, and there's always shenanigans around passwords. What's the worst one you've dealt with?
All right, here's one. It caused me to actually write a code snippet, a PHP code snippet for WordPress. I have it somewhere on my archives on johnoverall.com as the code snippet you can get. I got a client that came to me. They had a website built. The people built the website, gave them only editor access to their website where they owned the content, owned the design, owned everything, but yet their designer was holding them hostage for everything. Their designer and their, it was only holding them hostage for the WordPress site. They had full FTP access to the site. So they had access to all the content, but they didn't have access, or had access to all the content, but they didn't have access to the administrative area of managing their content, except as an editor.
Oh.
And they asked, well, we need to get in there. And once I verified that they had all this, I said, okay, fine. And I'm like, okay, well, I need to create an admin account. What are the easy ways to do it? Well, you can manually, if you have PHP MyAdmin access, PHP MyAdmin PHP, it's the access for the database. MySQL PHP access, something like that. I can't remember the name of it. Anyway, you can go in and manually create it, but that's a bit of a process. There's a very simple way. You can write a simple PHP script to insert an editor into a WordPress database. What you have to have is you have to have FTP access. You upload this script to the root file. You then go to the website. You run this script. It inserts an administrator, and now you have a full administrator in there. Then you log back in and you delete that script so that nobody else uses it to create more administrators. And I did that to create an access, gained the access to it, and then got them their website, and then promptly helped them move to my hosting services. So
Excellent.
So yeah, that's probably the worst one I've dealt with. I'm sure I've dealt with others of insanity, but it's a nice, simple PHP script. The information's all over the internet, and I still occasionally use it to this day when I get stuck with a client doing something and asking me to do something. And they're like, well, they can't figure out how to create it. So don't worry about it. I'll just upload my script and create my own admin access. I've done that for a few clients that have asked me to do stuff. It's like, here, I'll just upload this script and I'll have my admin access. You don't have to figure out how to use the dashboard.
You're one of the few dudes named Ben in this world, I think. Almost.
No. I'm a low-level dude named Ben. I understand a lot of stuff, but I can't do a lot of the things the upper levels, the smarter than me guys do. There's a whole lot of guys out there way smarter than me.
So what advice would you give our 9 listeners out there
For what?
to avoid that kind of issue? Like people who are trying to create their own website, or they're building out a website, or they have clients, and what advice could they pass on to their clients to not find themselves in that kind of situation?
What, by password issues?
Yeah. Like, how do you keep from getting yourself into that kind of situation where you have no access to your site?
You insist that when your site is being built out, you have administrative access to it. If they're not going to give you administrative access, go elsewhere because they're controlling. I have had more than one over the years of fetching websites from asshole developers who are holding their clients hostage, thinking, well, if I hold them hostage, they'll just stay here and keep paying me money. No, they'll find ways around it and exit you. And if they're really assholes, they may sue you. It all depends on the contracts you have. So.
Okay, so just be aware then.
Just be aware. Make sure you always have access to your site. Make sure you always have administrative credentials. Make sure you always have the FTP and cPanel credentials to your hosting environment. Make sure you're the one paying the hosting bill. Make sure you're the one paying the domain registration bill, that it goes to your own separate account. Do not, make sure your domain is registered separately as much as possible from your hosting provider. There's a few out there. There's a couple of bad companies out there. Wix these days is getting battered because of their piss poor antics around people's websites and domains. So there are still some bad players out there. They come and go.
There's always going to be bad players because there's always going to be some group of people that thinks that cheating their way is the best way to go, and then they end up getting screwed over.
Oh, absolutely. And that's the way it works. All right. Well, thank you, everyone, for listening. I think we've reached the end of what we can do with this. We've been at this for quite a while now. And thanks, everyone, for showing up. We greatly appreciate it. And get out there and plug them into this show. Tell everyone about it. We're going to let the music carry us on out of here. And we will be back in 2 weeks with Amber, and next week, unless I get an interview, you'll be back with me on an Unplugged show.
These are the days of thunder. We're gonna make time stand still. A quarter after midnight, and I'm watching the wall. Sometimes I feel so uptight, I just can't sleep at all. Every day doing the same old thing, we're losing time. The weekend comes, we gotta have some fun. We gotta feel the hunger, hanging over the edge just to taste the thrill. These are the days of thunder. We're gonna make time stand still. We gotta feel the hunger, hanging over the edge just to taste the thrill. These are the days of thunder.
Alrighty, folks, that's all we got. Take care now. Bye-bye.
Oh my god!
Take care.
Oh my god, that is amazing!
Oh no. Obviously we just lost the satellite feed.